Attention, Apple enthusiasts! The latest iOS update might just slip under your radar, but it's here, and it's stirring up some interesting conversations. Apple has released the first public beta of iOS 26.1, and while it may not be as flashy as its predecessor, it's got a few tricks up its sleeve. But here's where it gets controversial. Are these subtle changes worth the potential risks of installing a beta version on your primary device? Let's dive in and explore what's new, what's improved, and what might just divide opinions. Zachary McAuliffe, a seasoned tech writer at CNET, brings us the lowdown on this update. With a background in broadcast news and a passion for all things tech, Zach has been keeping a close eye on Apple's every move, and this time, he's noticed something intriguing. The subtle art of iOS updates. Just over a week after the major iOS 26 redesign, Apple has rolled out the first beta of iOS 26.1. Now, you might be thinking, what's the big deal? Well, here's the thing. This update is all about refinement. While iOS 26 brought us game-changing features like liquid glass and call screening, iOS 26.1 is more about fine-tuning the user experience. But don't be fooled. These subtle changes could make a big difference in your daily use. A word of caution before we get into the nitty-gritty, a quick disclaimer. This is a beta version. That means it's not the final product. And there might be bugs or battery life issues. So if you're thinking of giving it a whirl, it's best to install it on a secondary device. Trust us, your primary iPhone will thank you. What's new in iOS 26.1 beta? Now, let's talk features. Here's a rundown of what developers and beta testers can expect. 1. A new way to change songs in Apple Music. Apple Music gets a small but significant update. Instead of tapping the next or previous buttons, you can now swipe left or right on the song title to change tracks. It's a simple change, but one that makes navigating your music library feel more intuitive. And here's a fun detail. The song title appears to jump left or right when you swipe, adding a touch of visual flair. 2. Live translation expands its horizons. Apple's live translation feature, introduced in iOS 26, now supports more languages. This is great news for multilingual users or those who frequently communicate with people who speak different languages. The newly supported languages include Chinese Mandarin Simplified, Chinese Mandarin Traditional, Italian, Japanese, Korean. Apple Intelligence goes global. If you're using an Apple Intelligence-enabled iPhone, you'll be pleased to know that iOS 26.1 beta brings AI features to a range of new languages, including Chinese Traditional, Danish, Dutch, Norwegian, Portuguese, Portugal, Swedish, Turkish, Vietnamese. 4. Calendar gets a makeover. The Calendar app receives a subtle update in List View. Now, when you view your calendar events for a specific day, the entire bottom part of your screen will be color-coded to match the events. It's a small change, but one that makes it easier to visualize your schedule at a glance. 5. A sleeker video scrubbing bar. The Photos app also gets a minor update with a more compact and inline video scrubbing bar. This new design replaces the previous version, which had play, pause, and volume buttons above the bar. It's a small tweak, but one that contributes to a more streamlined user experience. The bigger picture. So what does all this mean for the average iPhone user? Well, it's important to remember that this is just the first beta. There will likely be more updates before the final version is released to the public. That means there's still time for Apple to tweak, refine, and possibly add new features. Controversy alert. Is it worth the risk? Now, here's the million-dollar question. Should you install the iOS 26.1 beta on your primary device? It's a contentious issue. On one hand, you get early access to new features and the chance to provide feedback to Apple. On the other hand, you're potentially exposing your device to bugs and stability issues. What's your take? Would you risk it for a sneak peek at what's coming next? Final thoughts. As we await the final release of iOS 26.1, One thing's for sure, Apple is committed to refining the iPhone experience. Whether you're a developer, a beta tester, or just a curious user, there's plenty to look forward to. And if you're hungry for more iOS insights, be sure to check out Zach's review of iOS 26, where he shares his thoughts on the OS's new look and feel. You can also explore our guides on reducing liquid glass effects and enabling call screening to get the most out of your iPhone. So, what do you think about iOS 26.1? Are you excited about the new features? Or are you holding out for the final release? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts.